All right, it looks like we are here. Good to see everybody. Welcome to another edition of Hennessey Digital webinar series. For those that are joining us for the first time, welcome. We are excited to have you here. This is a series where we want to give back and we want to educate and we want to empower those that attend these webinars to just kind of continue to grow. The first webinar that I did was last month, and that was related to some of the fundamental things that law firms could be doing to try to understand how to optimize your firms to show up better on some of the LLMs like ChatGPT and Grok and Google AI overviews and things like that. This is taking it one step further. This might be a little bit more advanced, but it's a good thing. I am happy to bring on a dear friend, a colleague, one of the smartest people I know. He's our CTO, Chief Technology Officer at Hennessey Digital, and his name is Blin Kazazi. He's been with us for going on maybe 6 years now, Blin, something like that, right?
Yeah, we're approaching 6 years.
Yes. Yeah. So super excited. All right, so let's talk about just some ground rules here. So before Blin starts to kind of get into the presentation, if you do have questions, by all means, please ask the questions. We may interrupt the webinar and address it at that moment, or we might wait till the end and address that a little bit later. By the way, if you can hear me and see me, please comment, type in webinar, maybe in the comments, because there's a couple people that said that I have no sound. So I just want to make sure everybody, can hear and see us. Karen here is from Maryland. Hello. Maybe post where you're from, by the way, too. All right, perfect. It sounds like so many people. I think we have a couple hundred people now in the studio here. So thank you all for joining. All right. So with that being said, let's change the presentation to this right here. And why don't you take us away, Blin?
All right. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, everyone, for joining this webinar. I'm excited to present this to you. These are tactics that we follow at Hennessey, solutions that we've implemented or incorporated, but this is by no means everything, and our strategies are changing on a weekly basis. So what's working today might not work next month, so we're constantly researching and trying to keep the list of ideas and SOPs updated, trying different tactics and different things that we can do. So in the call, we have Rob as well. He's the Director of Business Development. I saw him sending several messages in the chat, so thank you for being here, Rob. Okay, let's see. Slide 2. Okay, this is the Hennessey platform. This is a platform that our engineering team built to show all the leads that our clients are receiving. I've hidden the information for the lead, so you're seeing a bunch of white boxes and hidden messages just because I didn't want to reveal the information of the actual lead. But this was a really cool lead that we got on our own website on hennessey.com. And what's cool about it is the refer URL. I think this is the very first one that we noticed, or one of the best ones that we've noticed that has come from actual ChatGPT. In our platform, we display the refer URL and the landing URL, the landing page URL. So this person landed straight on the law firm SEO page, but we can see that the source was chatgpt.com. Noel coming through clear. Hi, Noel, you're in Florida too? Okay, pretty cool. I'm in Tampa. So this was a ChatGPT lead, and it was an excellent lead for us. Exactly the type of people and law firms that we like to help. Well, we like to help everyone, but this is exactly our core and butter that we like to help, and this is how we receive the lead in our platform. When you search for prompts in ChatGPT, we love to show up on ChatGPT about why we stand out, what's great about Hennessey Digital and our competitors as well. But we try to make sure we show up on every list, every topic that ChatGPT will go out and research. And we accomplish this through a number of different tactics, and that's by no means it. We're always trying to, stay on top of it. And here's another example. We're not going to be talking so much about the AI overview from by Google today, but it's a very similar technology and similar tactics that will work for the AI overview as well. But yeah, we're not going to be talking too much about this today. And finally, Hennessey Digital, about the source. This is the core and butter of the presentation today, about the source. How do we get mentioned on as many different topics that show up about the source? We call these the merit links at Hennessey. For ChatGPT, we refer to them as citations, but they're fairly similar between the Google AI overview and the ChatGPT. You always want to be looking at what Google is showing here, what ChatGPT is showing here, and try to show up on as many of those pages as you can.
And Blin, just to interject here, some of these slides are referenced from the first webinar that I gave a month ago. For those that would like to watch that, if you didn't see that, you could just go to hennessey.com. Along the top navigation, it just says free webinars. And there is a video to watch that full first webinar. So if you missed that, that's fine. You can certainly catch up. And for those that, for whatever reason, can't hear us, yes, we will be posting the video on our website as well. So you will be able to re-reference this if for whatever reason you can't hear it.
Okay, thank you, Jason. And here's our beautiful engineering team. This is from a meetup we had in Macedonia in Eastern Europe. And these are a very small part of our engineering team. We've got developers from everywhere, from Ukraine, Macedonia, Kosovo, the US, Latin America, but we're a very international team. I personally live in Tampa, but I'm originally from Eastern Europe as well. And yeah, I'm very proud of the team we've built at Hennessey and all the tools that we've created at this wonderful company.
Yeah, one thing just to reference, we are a product-led SEO company first. So we try to make our product better each and every day. And we do that with AI, with automation, with scripts. And so we've got, what would you say, Blin? Is there probably about 30, 40 engineers now at Hennessey?
That sounds about right. And we also have a QA team as well. So in addition to the engineering team, we've got the QA team and the technical SEO team. So all in all, we're probably talking about 60 people if we counted all of those teams as well.
There you go. Yep. Yep. Oops, sorry about that. I just hit the wrong button here. Let me go back. Sorry.
All good. This is a picture taken during a hackathon. So we do a hackathon once or twice a year where the entire engineering team works on really cool projects. They might not be related to everyday work that they do at Hennessey, but just different type of tools that they've always wondered or would have liked to work on. And a lot of really interesting ideas have come from these hackathons. For example, one of our tools is called HD Translate, where we use AI to translate websites. And it came out of a hackathon. It's a WordPress plugin we can install on WordPress websites. And it came out of this hackathon, these 2 days that developers get to team up with whoever they want to, but preferably people they don't work with very often. Try to create something cool, do something interesting with those 2 days. Okay. So one of the biggest myths is that ChatGPT results are similar to Google or similar to Bing. In the first half of 2025, ChatGPT results seemed like they were similar to Bing. In the second half, that completely changed, and then they were similar to Google. Now it looks like it's probably neither one of those, and it's ChatGPT's own search engine. So it's a very shifting tide. ChatGPT will always give results based on what it knows about the user as well, not just the research that it does. So it's getting pretty nuanced at this point. We can't really say that ChatGPT results align with Google or with Bing anymore. They can be different. There's some overlap, of course, but that's just because the actual data that we're looking at will have overlap. Like, how many personal injury law firms can be in a tiny town in Michigan? There aren't that many to pick from as well, but it does look like this is shifting all the time. So and every time I hear that, if you rank on Bing, you're doing great, you can assume you're ranking on ChatGPT. That might not be totally true. There is more that can be done for ChatGPT specifically than just for Bing. Of course, you want to make sure you show up on Bing. You want to show up. You want to make sure you show up on Google, but you also want to make sure you show up on ChatGPT and all the LLMs as well. Why would you want to get leads from ChatGPT? I guess the most obvious one is, of course, who doesn't like leads? But the second one is, this is real data from Hennessey clients. So we aggregated all of the AI leads that all of our clients got and then compared LLMs to each other. ChatGPT was responsible for over 80% of the AI sessions that we received on all of our client websites. This is, we got this report by connecting all of the analytics data with Google's BigQuery, and then we're using a Looker Studio report to actually present that information. But you can see how ChatGPT is truly leading the pack. So much so that, once you're doing great on ChatGPT, move on to Perplexity and Gemini and all the other tools. But you really want to make sure you're showing up on ChatGPT. ChatGPT is truly the Google of LLMs. It does look like the Google AI overview is taking some part of ChatGPT's traffic, or the searches that people would have normally made on ChatGPT are now getting served by the AI overview. But regardless, when comparing LLMs, ChatGPT is truly the king and is leading all others combined fourfold in terms of what we're actually seeing with our own clients.
By the way, if you're seeing leads coming to your firm, comment in the comment section and where you're seeing the leads, whether it's ChatGPT, Perplexity. Hopefully you guys have it set up where you actually can see the actual source. That's really important. That's one of the things that we do at Hennessey, is we make sure that we got proper tracking and attribution. So like in that first slide, we knew that lead came in by way of ChatGPT.
Yep, exactly. You want to make sure you're tracking the refer, the server, the browser's actual refer, the source, the first landing URL, and then the conversion URL as well. The first landing URL and the conversion URL are very important to track, because you want to make sure, you want to check what page people are landing on when they're doing an organic search or a ChatGPT search. But then what's actually triggering the conversion? Are they converting on that page, or are they navigating around your website and then maybe converting on the Contact Us page? How recent is this data? I'm surprised Copilot hasn't made more of a breakthrough. This data, this report is up to date as of December 2025. It includes data up to December 31st, 2025, Haven. So that's why for this presentation, we're focusing on only on ChatGPT. And then here's another interesting thing that happened in 2025. This is showing the number of leads or actual conversions we got divided by total sessions. Not only did we see a huge increase in the overall sessions that our clients were receiving from ChatGPT, but those sessions were also converting better. But only a few from, okay, I'll focus on the presentation. So not only are we getting more and more sessions, we're also getting more and more leads. Now, granted, this is nothing compared to actual organic searches from Google. I think Google searches are at least 25 times more, are providing at least organic Google searches are at least 25x what ChatGPT is bringing in. But this, at least for 2025, showed a huge increase. And if this continues, I mean, it's huge exponential growth for our ChatGPT leads that our clients have been seeing. And again, this is based on real data from our clients. This is not some kind of search that we did or industry data. This is our own clients.
So explain that to me, Blin. So like when I see 6.1 in December, what specifically is that telling us?
6.1% of the sessions you got from ChatGPT converted into leads, Jason.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sorry, I couldn't get the percentage signs to show. The report was getting really messed up, but it's obviously separated by month. How did the conversion rate change? Leads divided by sessions. The on-page conversion rates increased significantly.
Thank you.
Yep. And now here's another piece of research from SEMrush. It does look like the average search from an LLM brings in leads that are a lot more valuable than regular organic leads. according to the research, is 4.4 times as valuable than normal leads. I'm not quite sure where they saw this. I think it's a confusion between informational searches and transactional searches. Google transactional searches on Google, so transactional queries like best lawyer in Tampa for best car accident lawyer in Tampa is still just as good of a lead as a ChatGPT lead according to our Hennessey data. But when you look for other informational searches, then of course ChatGPT will take the lead there, because ChatGPT will not give you law firm websites for normal informational queries. So, for example, if you search for statute of limitations for a car accident in Florida, ChatGPT will just give you the answer. It will not refer other lawyers. But if you Google who to hire after, or what law firm to hire after a car accident in Tampa, then they will give you a list of lawyers that ChatGPT would recommend. And that's why I think it's the confusion in these studies.
Yeah, and actually, there's somebody in the comment, I think Ryan posted, saying it's because of all the trust that ChatGPT has built with its users, right? And I think there's a lot of credibility with that statement as well. I tend to trust ChatGPT a lot. I find myself like using ChatGPT, and if they say that this restaurant has the best, Italian food in a particular city, I go with it. And so I think a lot of people are. It's the same thing with like if you're on YouTube and you spend hours watching somebody's YouTube channel and then you click over and you're on their website now, that's probably going to convert a little bit higher, right? Just because there's just more trust in there.
I mean, I've hired local service providers from ChatGPT. But I have to say, I did read their Google reviews as well before I actually hired them. So I do think customers will be searching everywhere in all platforms, and not just hiring something as important as a personal injury lawyer just from a ChatGPT recommendation. I'm sure they will look at other platforms as well, but you want to make sure you show up everywhere. Mark, not conversion rates, traffic. So the total number of leads from Google is 25x ChatGPT. I hope that clarifies the what. I'm sorry if I said that 25 times the number of leads. Okay, so now let's get to the actual how do we get leads with ChatGPT? Let's cover the basics first. The number one thing is make sure your site can be crawled by LLMs. It's crazy to me how many websites are blocking LLMs on robots.txt, or they're introducing huge time delays in how much you want LLMs to wait between crawling your pages. At Hennessey, we're just trying to invite as many LLMs to please come in and read the content we've written for this law firm. Please refer to us as much as you can. This is an actual new client that we got at Hennessey. This was the robots.txt file. I did not Google a random law firm that had ChatGPT blocked. This is a real client that we got at HD, and you can see user agent ChatGPT is disallowed from crawling their website. This is you're basically killing a big source of good leads to your website if you were to do something like this for your website. If you get too much spam or too much traffic, or your servers are slowed down too much because of all these crawlers, you can add something like Cloudflare DDoS protection. It's an excellent tool. It uses very good AI, so 99% of users will not see a CAPTCHA puzzle to get to your website. Only the users who seem a little suspicious, maybe using a weird VPN or something, will see a puzzle to access your site, but it will only get presented to bad bots.
And JD Law, who's on the call, points out something that I feel is important, because like Cloudflare is used by so many people, and I believe the Cloudflare setting by default is set to not allow ChatGPT, right, to index. Is that correct?
We've got a slide on that. Yes, okay. Exactly. That's totally true. Yoast has added that as well. Actually, it's also a setting in Yoast now to block AI tools, LLMs, from crawling your website. Maybe if you're a New York Times or a newspaper magazine, some type of website like that, you would not want ChatGPT to train on something you invested so much on your content. But for us, we do want to show up everywhere. So yeah, unfortunately, ChatGPT will get better thanks to your content, but at the same time, it will bring in valuable leads. So of course, you should allow crawling your website.
So I will say this. Like I always like to say, like there's action items, right? You know, from webinars like this, we go over a lot of stuff. But if there's one thing that I think everybody on the call should do right now is to go to either their agency that's managing their website or their webmaster, and make sure, be certain that you don't have any disallows that are not allowing ChatGPT or some of these other large language models to come in and crawl your site. So,
yep, exactly. And here's how easy it is to make that mistake. AI training bots are blocked by default. So when you're adding a new website to Cloudflare, when you're migrating anything from GoDaddy to Cloudflare or setting up Yoast, I don't know why, but all these tools are defaulting to blocking LLMs from crawling your website. Please check this. Be careful in setting up new websites. Make sure that they can crawl and crawl it as much as possible too. Here's one way you can monitor how often AI tools are crawling your website. I believe looking at logs is valuable, but it takes so much time. Even if you use AI tools to analyze them, it's so time consuming. Just go to the AI crawl overview page in Cloudflare, and it will show you real data on your actual website on how often it got crawled by LLMs, the Google bot, Apple bot, ChatGPT user, Amazon bot. All the data is available here in the overview of the AI crawl control. You've got other tools here as well in Cloudflare. You can block specific crawlers. You can modify robots.txt if you want to straight from Cloudflare. But you can block it straight here from Cloudflare if you for some reason want to. But this is where you can actually see how often it's failing, how many of the requests were successful. All the information will be here. When you have 150,000 requests, an error rate of maybe even up to 3-4% is acceptable. Obviously, this website has too many. 10% is too much. But you do want to you cannot get this number down to 0. I don't think that's possible. But anything less than 3% would be an acceptable number for unsuccessful requests. The next thing, speed. I don't know why SEOs don't use this more often, but in the Google Search Console, you have this information. Google tells you how long did your website take to respond to its crawl requests. It's visible under settings and then crawlers. It will show you a report of your average response time, your actual server's response time to the Google crawler. ChatGPT doesn't have this tool yet. So of course, if it had something similar to this, we would definitely use ChatGPTs, but Google Search Console gives you this information. We're making the assumption here that your website is just as fast for the Google bot as it is for the ChatGPT user. So in this case, make sure you get this number to less than 200 milliseconds. Even 332 is too much. We constantly see sites with over 700-800 milliseconds of response times. Make sure you get this number as low as possible. Use caching tools, size up your servers, CDNs, whatever you can to get this number as high as possible. This is not the same as the page speed score, although this is a metric in the page speed score algorithm. So you do want to make sure, it's incorporated there, but just because you have a 90 in your page speed score does not mean that you have an acceptable server response time. And then, of course, make sure you've got, you have no errors there as well in the crawl log files in Google Webmaster Tools. Bing Webmaster Tools has a similar tool as well. You want to make sure you check that too. You actually in the Bing Webmaster tool, you just import your Google Webmaster, but it also lets you crawl pages. You can put up to 100 URLs on the Bing Webmaster tool, and it gives you any SEO problems that it notices there. It's a pretty useful tool, and they've at Microsoft actually done a pretty good job with that tool. Here's how we monitor websites at Hennessey. We have a QA, what we call the QA crawler. This allows us to check websites for all kinds of issues. We've created a lot of custom checks, use a lot of built-in checks from Screaming Frog and Ahrefs as well. We've also built our own. For example, we've got checks that make sure there are no links to Spanish pages from English pages, or links that go to the wrong practice area or a different location. We want to make sure we keep links siloed. In this case, we also have 404 errors on our own website on Hennessey.com, or slow server response times. This was all built in-house, and it's available in the QA crawler of our own tool called the HD dashboard.
So you're not really giving this the full credit that you need to give. So this is something that we're very proud of at Hennessey, this particular platform, this dashboard. This is stuff that goes on behind the scenes. We, over the course of the past 10 years, we have made a lot of mistakes on websites, right? And that's just because it's technology. But we have meetings every single week, and what we do is we learn from the mistakes. And as we make a mistake, we then build bots and crawlers and checklists and QAs so that we don't ever make those same mistakes again. And so this is just, years and years and years of us kind of building out this this quality assurance so that we can kind of keep our clients' sites protected from any errors and issues.
Yeah, a lot of these errors that get added, custom checks that we build, are because of mistakes that we made with the website.
I'll never forget, Blin, just a short story. It was like a Saturday night, and it's like 8 o'clock, and my phone starts ringing, and it's somebody that should not be calling my phone at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. It's a client. And I answer the phone, and he's like, blah, 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 yelling at me, right? He's still a client today, by the way. But anyway, I just took so much like, oh my God. And so what happened was, on one of his pages, there was a phone number that was missing a digit, right? And so people could not call him, right? And so we ended up getting an engineer on a Saturday night to come in and fix the problem. But then what we did that Monday morning was we built a solution so that it basically crawls the actual website. Is it on a daily basis, Blin?
The phone number checks, yeah, it runs on a daily basis.
So every day it checks to make sure that the phone numbers all validate, so that if a human ever made a mistake, it would actually fix that. So, I mean, that's how serious we take this kind of stuff here at Hennessey Digital, right? It was a mistake. We learned from it, but we will never make those type of mistakes again.
Yep. We're also rolling out updates where we can actually check when you update a page before you're allowed to publish your changes. We actually check the QA crawler first to see if you introduced any new errors. So crawl the site in real time, the page and parent pages in real time. And if you introduce any errors, then don't allow publishing that page. We're big on learning from our mistakes and getting better from it. It's a group of, it's about to have a shared channel.
Good, Rob.
You can't. Okay. And then with the advent of React websites, you want to make sure you are not rendering your website with JavaScript. So what does this mean? Google has come out and said multiple times that they do render sites with JavaScript. Nobody believes that. You want to make sure that you can see your text even with JavaScript rendering turned off. There are two ways you can test your website for this. One is go to whatever page you're looking at, right-click, view page source. If you can read the text in the HTML, then crawlers can read that text as well. And then the second thing you can do is, here are the steps. Feel free to screenshot it. But basically, you can turn off JavaScript rendering and then open your page. It will look broken. Don't be alarmed if it doesn't look quite right or if some images don't load. That's normal. That's how you get pages to. That's how you get pages to speed up. Basically, when the user scrolls, that's when you start loading pictures. But the text should all be there. When you want to make sure you can read all of your text, it has the general formatting there as well, like titles are bigger, headings are bigger, normal text looks like a paragraph. It's all visible, even with JavaScript rendering turned off. Once you do this, make sure you turn it back on so the rest of the internet does not look broken, but make sure you do this. It's study after study shows that Google ChatGPT does not read text that's hidden behind some kind of JavaScript gate. You want to make sure it's all visible there. Okay, next thing, citations. This is a big tactic for showing up on ChatGPT. It's what works the best right now. You want to make sure you follow this as much as you can. What are citations? So when you search for a research type of query, like who are the top 10 car accident lawyers in Tampa, best personal injury lawyer in New York City, best truck accident lawyer in Seattle, ChatGPT will go out and search the internet to give you that list. Once it searches the internet, it gives you a list of sources that it looked at to give you the list. These are all listed. You click on sources here on the bottom. Sorry if that looks a little bit blurry. On the bottom, you can see the sources list. This opens a tab, citations on the right, and it gives you all of the citations, all of the websites that ChatGPT used to come up with the list that it's showing you. You can trust this data. It works great. It does look like you cannot get this data from the ChatGPT API. We've searched multiple ways through different APIs that ChatGPT has, and the data that it gave us through the API was different from what we got in the actual view in actual chatgpt.com. So I highly recommend you get this list from actual chatgpt.com and don't try to use some sort of API. How can you get this list? So here's a good prompt. You can screenshot this prompt on how are people using ChatGPT to find lawyers. So basically, I want to create 10 different ways that people could be prompting ChatGPT to find car accident lawyers in Tampa. A good prompt is just come up with 10 natural language user queries that someone might put into ChatGPT to actually search for their car accident. It's not enough to just say best car accident lawyer in Tampa. You do want to see how people might be using ChatGPT. So which Tampa attorney should I hire for a high value car accident claim? I got severely injured 2 months ago. Who should I hire to defend me in court? To represent me in court. Those are the types of queries that people might use into ChatGPT. They're not the traditional Google queries. They're slightly different. You want to make sure you optimize them for ChatGPT, or you write them for as if you're a user in ChatGPT. Step 2, put that prompt in, hit search, click on sources, and get the citations. You can install a simple JavaScript code in your browser that gives you this list and puts it on a CSV or a Google Doc. If you need help with that, feel free to contact me, blin@hennessey.com. But you can get that list very easily with just a single button code. You can copy paste it if you want to as well, however you'd like to, and build your own database of these links. But we did that for you. And then step 3, I guess, is crunch the numbers, which we already did. Here's what we did in preparation for this webinar. We crawled ChatGPT with 10,000 prompts. We had real browsers running. This is an actual screenshot of my own computer. Running all of these prompts as if I was a real user in ChatGPT. So it made that search, clicked on sources, copied the citations, and we built a database of, I think we ended up with 50,000 different citations that ChatGPT used to serve those prompts. And here are the winning websites, or what citations showed up the most. So I don't think any of us were surprised to see these results, maybe except for the Google Business Profile. But that was a very interesting citations that we kept seeing. But Yelp is also a really, really important website, and you want to make sure you're listed on all of these websites as much as possible.
Can we stop here for just a second? So,
Yeah.
So a couple things. So for years and years and years, it was one of those like, hey, should I be advertising on Avvo? Should I be advertising on FindLaw, right? I'm sure they're going to love us right now, for sharing this. But this is just directly what the data is telling us, right? So Super Lawyers, I think, is by far the most trusted citation source. And because it's peer-to-peer, right? It's other lawyers that are basically vouching for you. So action item number 2, I guess, if you're listening, is to make sure that you have basic profiles on all of these different directories. And if you are nominated for Super Lawyers, I definitely would engage, pay the money, just because I think it carries a lot of value. In terms of Yelp, that was one of those things where a lot of people just kind of ignored Yelp, but that comes to do with sentiment, right? And so if you've got bad reviews on Yelp, ChatGPT probably won't list you as one of the best personal injury lawyers in your market, just because like the sentiment might be negative about your firm based on Yelp, right? Same thing with Glassdoor. If you've got bad employees that are leaving bad reviews about working for your firm, again, that's hurting your sentiment score. So anyway, I would pay close attention to this stuff, take a screenshot, and then at least get that Super Lawyers and monitor Yelp stuff right away. Yeah, Rob.
And a question here for you, Blin, from JD Law. Are you finding the list of citations shows for various search terms is fairly static or changing?
changing a lot. And even when we say Yelp, it wasn't even the same Yelp page for the law firm. It could have, I'll show a different example, but it changes all the time.
Okay, and then here you go. Is it true that ChatGPT pulls from Reddit?
Yes, that is true. Although for some reason it doesn't show up very often under citations, but we do believe that Quora and Reddit are extremely important websites. That's how ChatGPT and all these LLMs are using to get real user-generated data to train their algorithms. So for questions that are answered without having to research different law firms, they're definitely LLMs are trained on that data that they see on Reddit and Quora. So be as active as you can on those platforms as well, even though they will not show up as citations.
So two things on that. So Reddit, that's another one where they're looking at sentiment. So if there's a lot of people talking positively about your firm, that's a good thing. If there's a lot of people that are talking negative about your firm, that's obviously a bad thing. I would do searches for keywords that are important for you. And if you do see like a Reddit or Core Exchange in the actual SERP result, go and engage in that, right? Go comment, talk about how you're a law firm, you're there to help others, right? Just start to actively engage on those threads if I were you.
Yep. And then you probably have heard the story about XAI acquiring Twitter to get that data to train their own algorithm. That's just shows how big these platforms are to training AI tools. They're very, very important, and you want to be as active as you can there. For example, if you publish a new blog post, make sure you also publish that blog post on Reddit, Quora, everywhere you can. Even if it's just a recap of your blog post as a new Reddit article, you do want to send that into as many platforms as you can, especially if it's a user-generated post.
And then Blin, Ryan is asking if advertising on the legal directory was helpful.
I could take this one. I think it's more of an SEO tactic, right? So like if you advertise on that page and they link back to you, right, that's going to help boost your domain authority. It's going to be a trusted source, a trusted link. I haven't found any evidence that advertising is going to help you with AEO, GEO, SEO, some of those type of phrases. But I would say that, the more places that you show up, these are probably directories that most of your competitors are probably on. A lot of times when we start reverse engineering like competitors, content strategies, and link building strategies, we see a lot of those directories that are showing up over and over again. So I don't think it's a bad thing to at least have a free listing on most of these. And if that's not an option, consider potentially paying for them too. Oops, there you go.
Okay. After you make sure you got the citations right, you've got to prove you're a legit law firm. Here are some of the ways you can do this. The first one is your GBP, your Google Business Profile. Make sure it has the correct law firm name, it matches your DBA, the correct address, the correct phone number, your hours, the website. We also, in addition to the website at Hennessey, we also like to, whatever link you're using for this website here, so when you click on it, there should be an iframe of the actual GBP of the Google Map listing to your website. So they cross-reference each other. The address is listed there. You want to make sure this is done right, and it's definitely worth your time checking this information.
By the way, if you are a little confused in what Blin is saying, you could reach out to Rob, and then we could set up a call where Rob can kind of go through some of this stuff with you. Rob, what's your email?
I will put my email in the chat. It's rob@hennessey.com.
Yep. Okay, but yeah, please Google yourself, Google your full business name with, maybe if you have multiple locations, with the location, and check your GBP. Make sure it's correct. Make sure you have your services listed, service descriptions, business description. The pictures look decent. We've seen some gnarly pictures that Google picked for different law firms. We're report those, clean them up, but make sure you look good. Your GBP profile looks good. ChatGPT uses GBP a lot. And what's tricky about it is, thank you, Brandon. Brandon actually noticed this. Brandon is our director of analytics at Hennessey. ChatGPT will not change the source or the medium or the campaign of the listing. So of whatever law firms that it listed. This will probably change in a few weeks, but right now, when you Google, best law firms in Tampa, the list that it gives you, if you hover over it and click on website, it will actually look as if the source is Google, the medium is organic, or the campaign is GBP. But then when we check the refer, the browser header, the refer, it will show that the link was actually clicked from ChatGPT and not from Google. Why does this matter? Because it will look like the lead came from your GBP, but it was actually, they clicked on ChatGPT. It's just that ChatGPT used the GBP listing to show the data, to find who the best lawyers in Tampa are. I think this is the best evidence we found that ChatGPT is primarily using Google now to list law firms and not Bing anymore. And this is a good example of why your GBP profile matters. How can you check this on your analytics? Just make sure whatever view you have in analytics, you display both the refer and maybe the campaign. If you see both, you should see refer ChatGPT, but the campaign is actually GBP. And that will show cases when people clicked on your link from ChatGPT, but ChatGPT actually used your GBP profile to pull that in.
So many GPTs, GPT,
yeah, sorry,
right? So ChatGPT, and then the other one is Google Business Profile, right? So,
yep.
So you guys know what he's referencing there.
Yep, exactly. Reviews, these are the top review websites. I've fallen in and out of love with Yelp all the time, but it matters. Make sure you have a good profile there, good reviews, solicit reviews from your clients to post on Yelp.com. It goes a long way. And thank you to whoever left that review for Hennessey Digital on Yelp. And then there are also the listicle articles. So when you look for those, it's not just enough to have a Yelp page. ChatGPT does not just use that. It will also use listicles, so lists of best car accident attorneys in Tampa. You want to make sure you're listed in those articles as much as possible. So get the citations, contact the site admins. You can contact them in LinkedIn, emails, however you can. Make sure you follow up. Try to get your website listed in that listicle as much as possible.
Or another strategy is to start writing your own listicles too, right? Yep. That's a whole nother strategy because you could self-reference yourself in your own listicle, right? Maybe you put together a list of, that's very common in our industry. Like on my last webinar that I did, like a lot of our competitors put together a list of the top 15 agencies that work with law firms, right? And we were never number one on the list, right? Because it was their list, but we were still listed, right? And so those are votes from peers, similar to like a super lawyers would be, right? So just a different strategy.
We're getting some questions about what's more important, Justia or Google reviews. Justia showed up more often in the list of citations, but I would say Google reviews is probably top compared to Justia.
I would say Google reviews far outweighs that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I guess as much as possible, try to get both. Confirm all your local listings with Whitespark or Power Listings. Here's how we do this at Hennessey. So in our dashboard, we can set up new locations for our clients. We can, all their address, all the information is filled out here, and then we get the actual Power Listing scan result. This will check over 80, maybe 90 different platforms to make sure your business name, your address, your attorney names, your all kinds of information, your phone number is correct on all of those listings. So you can imagine how complicated this gets with our clients having multiple locations with multiple clients. But this is how we've automated the check through the dashboard. And we actually present this data in real time to our clients as well. So our clients themselves can log into their platform, check all of their locations, and they can see their Power Listing scan results. This runs, I think, weekly or bi-weekly, but you can also check this in real time when you click on a location. It will get the data immediately for you to see if anything is broken. And these tools also make sure that your listing on MapQuest is actually updated. So they're definitely worth the investment to make sure that, especially if you have multiple locations, they make sure that you've got as much as possible.
Blin, before we get too far past the reviews, there were a couple of questions just as it relates to Google reviews. Here's one of them. Just the value of Google versus Justia and other review platforms.
Google reviews first, Justia next. Make sure your Google reviews should always look excellent. Honestly, if anything, Google reviews we know is just the primary way how users read reviews about you, your actual clients. So you do want to make sure you look great there and have as strong of a profile as possible. With that said, it didn't show up as often in our citation study. Justia showed up a lot. So do both.
And then Jason, this one from Ashley, just the term best. I know that varies from state to state with ethics rules. If maybe you can expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to how you word that page, right? You could say, well, I can't legally say that, any law firm is the best in the state of Seattle. However, if I were to put together a list of some of the top rated firms, here would be a list of like 15 firms, there might be a way to kind of do that without specifically saying you are the best, right? I've seen firms do that before.
Yeah, in our list of, we definitely saw a lot of law firms themselves getting listed as citations on these tools. So but some common articles were even how to pick the best car accident lawyer in Tampa, how to choose your attorney, what makes an attorney great, and those were picked up very often by these AI tools as well. Okay. Next slide. Author schemas. This also helps build credibility. You can generate the schema with this prompt. So you can copy paste it or screenshot it. I mean, you can use ChatGPT, Claude. We love using Claude to generate code. We think it's slightly better than ChatGPT at this point, but this is a good prompt that will actually ask you questions about yourself first before it gives you the schema. So it doesn't just make any assumptions. You have to put in the information yourself, but then it gives you a schema that's in the perfect format for the author schema. And I highly recommend adding this to as many pages as possible.
I'm just going to spend 2 seconds on this. For those that don't know what schema is basically, it's JSON LD that goes behind the scenes. It's not visible on the actual website. It's like a universal way that the LLMs and Google basically could have a better understanding of like entity and context. And so, we could probably do a whole webinar just on schema, but just know that it's basically the way that, Google and all these large language models can interpret like what the entity association is on the page.
And Jason, what page do you recommend adding the author schema?
Blin, what would you say? The bio pages, probably.
Bio pages for sure, and especially those bio pages are linked from the actual pages that attorney has written on the website. Then that should be enough. Sprinkling it into some important pages, or when you're trying to boost a certain page, you can try it out and experiment. This is not something at Hennessey we write on every single page. We don't write an author schema on every single page, but we do link to attorney pages that have the author schema.
We've been doing a lot of experiments with some more advanced schema lately, and it's been mind-blowing, some of the results that we're getting, as a result of some of this hypothesis and testing that we're doing.
Yep, exactly. And then finally, write good content. Well, not finally, I have one more, but you do want to make sure that you have excellent content on your website, especially now with the advent of AI content. I truly think it's important that your writers write content that AI could never write. Maybe hosting webinars like this, creating YouTube videos, creating actual statistical, empirical research, having research data on the article that they're writing. That goes a long way. Don't write content that AI could have written. You can join the upcoming webinar with Jessica, and she will talk a lot more and more in depth about how to write good content on your site. On every page, so here's an interesting screenshot. One of our employees was just researching Google, and she got this type of result. from a Google AI overview. This showed us the structure of what the AI overview has. Obviously, a bug that Google fixed very, very quickly. But it was interesting because it displayed quite a bit of information about how Google structures the AI overviews. We could tell by looking at this is called a graph, how Google pulls information about the law firm. They use a graph structure. They were looking for stats, quantifiable results, what's the value proposition of that law firm, and the JSON schemas, specifically the legal service schema. We got lucky with the screenshot. Thank you, Molly, very much. But it definitely changed how we write content and how we write AI content as well, thanks to the screenshot, to try to optimize websites as much as possible for showing up in AI overviews.
So just real quick, so one of the things that's really telling here is that it's really important to start putting some of the case results that you get for your clients, right? Because a lot of these large language models are using that as a self-reference to understand, like, are you really a good personal injury law firm, right? And so, there's firms like, I could think of like a Brian Panish, like in Los Angeles. Like if you go and you just go to panish.law, not a client of ours, right? But he does such a great job of putting very specific details into like the verdicts that he gets and his lawyers get, right? So I think he's kind of like setting the standard there, but that's something that, in fact, that's something that we're probably going to start building into our platform, is giving our clients the ability to kind of upload that kind of data in real time with the proper schema, so that the large language models can see that being updated, so that when somebody does a search, who's the best trial lawyer in California, boom, they see all of the large verdicts that you got, and you should be, indexed there.
Exactly. Molly, nice to see you here. These are the schemas that we write at Hennessey: the organization schema, legal service schema, author schema, web page schema, question answer, and local business schema. We figured out ways to incorporate the organization local business schemas into the legal service schema, but the rest of them we would highly recommend writing for your website. I'm going to show you how we write these schemas as well. We created a tool called the HD AI Schema Generator. This is a WordPress plugin. With AI tools, although AI has gotten much better with not hallucinating, making up stuff, but we notice that you can never quite trust it 100%. So we've created ways for our team to actually add this information in. For example, here you can see how for Texas Law Dog, we actually added all of their social media profiles, their real address, phone numbers, everything. Once all of this information was completed, then the tool is able to generate the schema. For some of these schemas, we did use AI. So for example, for the question and answer schema, we use AI to determine what questions does this article answer. So even if that heading is not an actual question, if the page, the paragraph itself answers a question user might have asked, we generate a question and answer schema based on the content of the page. This has really helped the law firm show up in a lot more AI overviews and in ChatGPT prompts as well, just by the simple question answer schema. You also, translation works very well for the SERP. So when you Google something in Spanish, Google will only show you, or primarily show you, Spanish pages, Spanish results for that prompt. That's not happening with LLMs right now. When you Google something in Spanish, all the results are English web pages. When you click on that website, you'll end up in an English page as well. Even if ChatGPT translates the number of reviews or the abogado de accidentes automobilismos, words like that, the actual pages are all in English. So we have not found the translation to help with ChatGPT, but it does help a lot with SERP. Says to work with to see for ourselves where they are showing up. Of course, contact Rob, Ryan, and he'll show you lots and lots of examples. Okay, and then how do you measure the results? Right on time. Question from Ryan. The first one is Athena HQ. They have a very good free report that will show you where you stand. Obviously, we have a long way to go, but Athena HQ is an up-and-coming, pretty cool tool. They offer quite a few services for free that you can check out. So just run an audit on your website and your competitors, and it will give you a lot of ideas of how you can improve, what your competitors are doing well that you might not be doing so well. But yeah, check it out, Athena HQ. They're a very good tool. Next one is the Ahrefs AI overview. Ahrefs has also done a decent job with this tool. If you use it slightly differently from how it's designed, then you can get a lot of really good information. And here's what I mean. In Ahrefs, you want to track topics, not prompts. When you track topics, it's actually a really useful tool. It will give you the volume data, the who's showing up for that general topic. So just make sure that when you use the AI tool in Ahrefs, you're tracking topics. It will give you a lot of good content ideas. It will list the citations for you as well. It will show you what citations did ChatGPT use the most for that specific topic. Yeah, just make sure you click on topics. This will give you a lot of good ideas on what to write, what to focus on for your law firm. And the most useful one is probably the volume data. And you can sort by volume, see what's worth it for you, what type of leads you want to get, and then write some content for that, or get listed on listicle articles. And then finally, the actual source of truth will always be Google Analytics or your whatever tool you're using to track real traffic on your website. You can sort them by the referrer, and sorry, I didn't realize how small this text would be, but it will show ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, all of these tools that will list your website. Just search by source medium or by the referrer of the actual browser header, the referrer, and then you will see where your real traffic is coming from and how much traffic you're really getting from ChatGPT. If you've got your lead acquisition set up properly in Google Analytics, you can also see where your leads are coming from. Just be careful with PII information. You want to make sure you don't send PII to Google Analytics. Only send the lead ID, not the actual real lead information. Okay, Rob, do we have any questions that we should be answering now?
Looks like we got through a lot of them. If there's any else coming up, we can certainly take it.
Yeah, we tried to tackle these as we went along. There was one question a little while ago about if there's a preference on listicles, whether that should be top 10, top 5, top 3. Does it matter? A question from Jeswaldo.
I'd say not too many, not too little, so I'm seeing top 10, top 15, probably not top 3 from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
There were questions on how can I get listed, or how can I write listicle articles on my PI law firm's domain. It's a bit tricky. I know stay within the rules of the bar, of course, but we did find a lot of law firms that on their website had articles like the best way to find an accident attorney. How do I pick the best attorney? How do I choose this attorney? Make sure it doesn't go against your state rules, but those citations showed up a lot, and they were in actual law firm websites. Then they would insert internal links to their homepage from their own article to kind of claim that they are the best, the specific one that I'm looking at, how they are the best accident attorney in Seattle. There are a lot of examples like that law firms are publishing, and at least for now, AI tools are picking those up all the time.
Awesome. I just want to be respectful of time. Again, we sincerely appreciate everybody joining us on this webinar. We're doing this once a month now. We figured, why should we just wait, till people come to conferences and have to stay in hotels and travel and spend thousands of dollars for education when we can kind of bring it right to their homes. So that's what we're doing now. We're committed to doing this every month. Our next one is going to be really good. Jessica Rowe, she's our Senior Director of Content here at Hennessey Digital. I want to say we write 4,000 or 5,000 pages of content every single month for our clients. And so she knows a thing or two about content strategy, writing, publishing. We're super excited to bring her on again, not again, but for the first time. Again, that will be February 11th, 12 p.m. Eastern. Put that in your calendar, or you can just register now, so it'll send you over the reminders. Other than that, Rob and I will be at the National Trial Lawyers Conference in Miami in about 2 weeks. So if you're there, please stop by our booth, say hello. I know a couple people are on, like Dean Chase. There's a couple people earlier that were on that I know we'll see there. And we're looking forward to being at some of the other events here in the future. And Rob his email is right there, rob@hennessey.com. If you'd like us to take a look and see, some of the things that you might be missing in terms of like whether it's an SEO strategy or AI optimization, please reach out to Rob, set up a call, no obligation. We're not a high sales company at all. Sometimes we just jump on calls to help people and guide people into the right direction. So please, by all means, reach out to Rob. With that being said, Blin, thank you so much. I really appreciate the level of effort that you put into this. I got a lot of value from it, and I hope our listeners did too. And Rob, it's always a pleasure seeing you too. Until then, we will see you on our next webinar. Thank you again for joining. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.